Hello.
Hi, everyone. We'll begin shortly. We're just waiting for a few more people to join in. Hello. Just a few more minutes, and then we'll begin. Hello, new people that just joined. We're just waiting like a couple of more minutes so that we can let everyone else in. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Jamie. If you could just turn your video off until we do the one act, that would be great. Okay. All right, I'm going to start now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gift of Learning's 5th webinar. My name is Sheershika, and I am the manager at the Gift of Learning. The Gift of Learning team consists of 4 co-founders, Shivangi Gosain, Arya Nalavade, Isha Kulkarni, and Amrutha Rajiv, as well as our outreach and graphic design ambassadors. The Gift of Learning is an online student-led tutoring organization that is working towards closing the educational gap between low-income students and privileged students. More information about TGOL can be found on our website, which can be accessed through the link tree in our social media bios. The topic for today's webinar is performing arts and the transition into college through performing art degrees. Our guest speaker is the Artistic Director of CFTC, the City of Fairfax Theatre Company. Throughout the webinar, if you have any questions, please send them to Shivangi Gosain, who is one of the founders, through the private chat feature on Zoom, and we will ask them at the end. Ms. Herman will be leading the webinar today with a discussion of all aspects of theater and answer any questions you may have. Without further ado, Ms. Herman, you can take it away.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me this afternoon on the Gift of Learning. Really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all. I am, as Sheershika mentioned, Amanda Herman Snellings. I am the Artistic Director of the City of Fairfax Theatre Company. And just a little bit about me here. So I went to James Madison University for theater, and I've been the Artistic Director of CFTC for 2 years. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the company. We're a community theater right here in Fairfax County, so there's tons of opportunities to get involved with us. I do a lot of directing and arts education programs at the theater and work with a lot of really fantastic friends and family and arts professionals who all are excited to be there and work with the kids that we work with. So it's a really great group, and hope you'll be able to join us for a show or to get involved. And yeah, so we have been the largest community theater in Fairfax since 2009. We've been doing a lot of different plays and musicals, camps, classes, all sorts of arts programs for all ages. So one of my favorite things about CFTC is that it really is about bringing the family together to do arts related activities together. So whether that's, mom and daughter on stage together, or, the kids are on stage and the parents are building the set, or vice versa, even sometimes. It's a really great way to get the whole family involved. There's a lot of different productions and opportunities to really get a lot of different skills too. Acting um, can give you a lot of public speaking skills and opportunities to get in front of a stage and perform, memorizing lines, learning more reading comprehension and about story and character development. And then backstage, there's a lot of skills to be learned there too, in building sets, painting, sourcing costumes, coming up with a vision and kind of seeing that vision out. So there's a lot of really great opportunities. We typically do one winter play that has a main cast of children and adults. A spring drama mostly for adults, and then a summer musical for all ages. Since COVID-19, we've been doing staged readings over Zoom for all ages. We used to do them once a week, and then we actually were able to do a couple of outdoor productions through storytelling nights and a cabaret, and we're going to have an improv event coming up in November. So I hope that you'll be able to join us for one of those, or join us backstage for a show in the future. So today, I'm here to really talk with you about getting involved, and that kind of first step is auditioning. Auditioning for community theater can seem really nerve-wracking. It definitely was the first time that I did it, but it does not have to be. I'm here to kind of give you some tips and some tricks and kind of let you know what we're thinking from the director side behind the table when you're auditioning. All right, so when you're auditioning for a community theater show, you want to know a little bit about what that show is. Once the theater posts online what they're going to do, you want to take a minute to look into that show. Are there any characters that are the same age and gender as you, the same type? Do you like doing comedy or drama better? Which kind of play is it? And then you want to listen to the music too. Is there any character in your vocal range if it's a musical? Do you like that style of the show? What era it was written in? So all of those things really can play into your decision first whether or not to audition in the first place, right? And it will also help you decide what material to use when you're auditioning. So most community theaters are going to ask you to pick a monologue or a song that's not from the show that they're having you audition for. Mainly that's just because we want to see you do material that you're really comfortable with. A lot of people will set aside some audition material that they can go back to all the time. You don't have to relearn something brand new just for the audition. And it allows us to see your strengths without pinholing you into a specific character, right? If you only audition with this one character song, maybe you might be perfect for a different character, and now you've kind of closed yourself off from that opportunity. So you really want to pick a show that is similar to the show that you're auditioning for, a song that could kind of show and suggest what character you're interested in. If that character has a really fast-paced comedic song in the show, you want to look for one that is of a similar tempo, also comedic, and maybe written in the same era or musical style. For monologues, a lot of times in community theater, they'll also give you sides to read. So that means that they've taken a specific scene from a play and they'll just have people come in and cold read together. So that means you're reading it without having practiced with your scene partner. Those typically would be from the same show that you're auditioning with. And that's just a way to kind of see how you play off of other people, and how quickly you can determine kind of the story of the character through that scene. So there's also a lot of ways when you're auditioning that you're going to want to present yourself, right? You want to make sure that you are memorable to the directors and people behind the table for all the right reasons. So you're going to want to dress professionally, but comfortably, nothing that is too tight or going to make you itch or make you play with your clothes. And sometimes it can be really helpful to dress with the style of the play in mind. If you're auditioning for, The Wizard of Oz, maybe wear, and you're auditioning maybe for Dorothy, you want to wear like a dress that's blue and, could suggest that you could look like Dorothy without being the actual costume, right? Um, and if there's a dance call at the audition, you really want to make sure that your clothes are going to be appropriate for you to dance, especially your shoes, because there might not be time to change. You really want to walk into the audition confidently and be friendly and respectful to everybody while you're there. You never know who is part of the audition team or who you might be in the cast with. You really want to be friendly and make sure that you're presenting yourself in a really good light. When you go up to audition, you have a minute to talk to the accompanist, and it's really important that you get them familiar with what you'd like your song to sound like. So you can count out the tempo, clap it through with them, make sure they know like kind of where you want to start and stop your piece, which the audition guidelines will have told you how many bars to choose or how long of a song to choose, or even how long of a monologue. And then after you've made sure that your accompanist knows what you're looking for, you can then go up to the room and really want to introduce yourself and what you'll be singing or performing for the casting table. Now, that's all kind of as you're leading up to your audition. Now we're in the audition itself. Excuse me. You really want to imagine that you are this character and there's a real reason why you're singing this song. You want something from the character you're singing it to. So really remember that the acting is a big and important part of both monologue and a song audition. I would so much rather see somebody who is really acting through their song and making strong choices than someone who has a perfect voice but is just staring. So keeping those strong choices in mind and making sure that you're telling the story of the song is going to go a long way. Make sure you say thank you when you're finished, and you don't need to apologize or explain or dwell on any mistakes. If you're feeling sick that day, don't tell anyone. It's okay. If we can tell if you're not feeling totally 100%, but what you don't want to do is put in the casting director's mind that you're, not confident about it or that you didn't do your best. You really just try to do your best, and if you didn't, don't dwell on it. And the last thing is really keep auditioning. It's hard to choose a cast, and it doesn't always come down to the best person. Sometimes it's just a puzzle that we have to piece together different people for whether or not they're right for that role. And so we really still want to keep you again. When I'm auditioning for a show, I should say when I'm casting for a show, excuse me, I am rooting for you, right? I really want you to be the right person to be in my show. So everybody has a clean slate when they come in for that audition. And it doesn't matter what roles you've had before. It doesn't matter how many times you've worked with a company. I'm really looking to see what you can do now in this moment. And I want it to be good. So, for if you get nervous and you're like, oh my gosh, all these people behind the table are watching or judging me, we're really all sitting there rooting for you and hoping that it goes really well. And even if you don't get a role, sometimes just getting to know the company better can be fun, and working on the show in other capacities can be fun. So I would say consider volunteering. That way you get to know the other people involved, the company and the directors. Maybe you'll learn about more opportunities and be able to get into the next show potentially. Now, since COVID-19, we have had to really up our game in terms of virtual opportunities, right? And hopefully we won't be doing them too much longer. But when you're in a virtual show, doesn't mean that you don't have to act, right? That's the whole point of it, is that you still can do some acting and have some fun. So you'll want to taken some of these tips for performing in a virtual show, and all my friends who are going to join me for Monsters Anonymous later, maybe think about this one too while we're talking. So you're going to warm up your voice just as you would for a regular performance, and you're going to sign on early to make sure that your audio and video are working correctly. In a little bit, right before we do Monsters Anonymous, we're going to play some warm-up games together. It'll be really fun. Print out your script or put it on another screen and place it just above your webcam. You really want to have your eyes always be coming up toward your camera. And so if your script is down here on your lap, then we're not going to be able to see your face or any of the expressions that you're making. It's best to use a computer webcam rather than your phone if possible, because sometimes your phone can like turn or doesn't have the clearest quality. And it also kind of is, can be distracting if you're walking around or you're not staying in one place. You want to choose a quiet setting with a pretty neutral background. So somewhere that's not going to be really distracting, like you definitely don't want to sit in front of a window because then you might get some shadow. And then you also want to make sure that you're in a room where you're not going to have the dog barking or sirens going by, although that can be, sometimes out of our control. And then the best position for lighting is to have a light that's in front of you and above you. You want to use an external microphone as well, like the kind found on headphones or AirPods. That just helps make sure that the computer is picking up you and not everything else going on in your house. It can also focus the sound better. And don't forget to act and have fun. Excuse me. So with virtual readings, there's also going to be an increase in auditioning via tape, via video submission, right? A lot of places already do this, and even some colleges will do that. And I think that this is something that's really going to be in an actor's wheelhouse from the beginning of their acting journey going forward, because it's just a safer way to hold those auditions, even once we're back in person more frequently. I think it'll be a huge game changer for people to be taking submissions via video. So a lot of the tips that I just shared for the virtual readings would still apply. And some of this is going to be for a more experienced actor, maybe somebody auditioning for college. But there's a few things to keep in mind when you're doing a video audition. So first thing, you really want to make sure that you understand exactly how they want you to submit it. They'll tell you the file size, how to name your file, any other information, like if they want you to name your piece before starting, or if they don't, if they want to see 2 pieces or just one. And you're also going to want to ask any questions. I think as a casting director, I am always happy to answer any question. There's no question that's too silly or stupid questions, nothing like that. You want to memorize your material before taping. So sometimes they'll give you sides, like I mentioned before, where you're just reading from the script with someone, or if you're doing a song audition, you really want to have that memorized so that you're not flipping through pages during the video. If you need to have someone read as your scene partner, you want to make sure they're off camera and that they're going to be further away from the microphone than you, so that you don't have that reader kind of taking focus from you. They're just there for you to bounce off of and react to. Remember all of our webcam and lighting and audio tips from virtual performance. But if you're using a phone for this kind of audition, make sure that you're filming in landscape mode. You want to wear something simple with solid colors. And back to our auditioning tips for community theater, you want to suggest the character that you're going for, their background, their age, their situation that they're in for the play. Definitely wear something comfortable and something that you feel confident in. For a video audition, maybe different from a virtual staged reading. Don't record directly into the camera like I'm doing right now. You're gonna wanna place your scene partner just above and slightly over your camera so that it's you having a scene with your scene partner and letting the casting folks on the other end of the video watch that performance rather than feeling like they're talking to you one-on-one. And that's a good tip actually for any audition. Don't look right at the casting table. They really want to see you acting as if they were watching you on stage, talking to an external scene partner. And if you can, you want to edit out any excess footage, any of you turning the phone on or off. If they're asking you to do two pieces, maybe try to do a little transition between them to make it clean. Adding your name or the piece as a lower third graphic could be helpful, but only if they haven't specifically said not to do that in the directions, right? So yeah, so I think that self-tapes are going to be here for a little while, and it's probably good to get used to doing them. And sometimes if you're looking to audition for a lot of things, could be helpful to even film something that you're not specifically submitting for a show, just so that when the right opportunity comes along, you already have something that you can send without having to film it at the last minute. Going to college for theater. So going to college for theater is what I did. It's really wonderful. I had such a great experience. But you really want to make sure that it's for you before you do it. It's a huge decision for anything for what you're going to go to college for. So you really want to make sure that you do your research. So when you research the schools that you might attend for college theater, there are a lot of different programs. And the different types of programs are going to have a different style of the education, right? So there's Bachelor of Fine Arts programs. Those are typically going to be more competitive. They're going to be very specific in what courses you take in that major. You might have a track. For example, there might be a musical theater track and a general theater track and a technical theater track. A BA, Bachelor of Arts, a liberal arts degree may be more general and well-rounded. You might take classes in all of those areas, even if you're not specifically focused on one. There's also Bachelor of Music programs for those interested in musical theater. Those will have more of a music focus than the acting focus of the Bachelor of Fine Arts through a theater school, if it's through a music school. So you really want to look into the schools that you're considering and those programs and kind of figure out which one you're most interested in. If you're interested in musical theater too, you might want to look into how much of a dance focus that school has. If you are a really strong dancer, that's awesome. Even if you're not, you may want to look into what they require as far as dance training, just to make sure that you're going to have the kind of education that you want and that you can leave school with prepared for that going into the field. And you also want to look at it like any other college. Do you like the city? Do you like the town that it's in? Do you feel comfortable with how many students attend? What does the rest of the degree program require? Those kind of things are important too. It's helpful to use social media or other networking connections to speak with current students, parents, or alumni. They can often give you insight into the program that you might not know about just from the website. And it's a great tool too to get kind of different perspectives from people who are currently in the program to people who have done it in the past. I know parents oftentimes want to talk to other parents to see how they're feeling about it. So that can be a really great way and something that I wish was around when I went to college. And you want to make a list of questions to bring along to any college tours or any opportunities that you might set up to speak with the department heads. And again, like no question is too silly. They want to make sure that it's the right school for you, as well as you being the right fit for the program. So make sure that you think about those questions and what you're looking for in that program. For the auditions, so this is where it's really helpful to talk to your theater teachers, talk to your voice teachers, any dance teachers that you might have about practicing and preparing material way ahead of time, right? Like I'm talking months ahead of time, because you want to make sure if they can help you that you give them plenty of time to schedule that, to give you feedback, and for you to practice a lot and make sure that you have the material really ready to go. Every school has different requirements, so you're going to want to start early, just kind of thinking about what kind of pieces do you connect with as an actor, what characters do you have a good time and an easy time exploring their journey, and you really want to make sure that all of your material comes from published plays and musicals. So they're going to want to know that you understand the whole character journey from start to finish of the play, and not just the monologue that you selected. Age appropriate material is important here. I'm not saying that it has to only be written for an 18-year-old, but you don't want to go into your college audition singing a song for a character that is, got much more life experience, and vice versa. You don't need to go into your college audition singing a song playing a much younger character either. And most of the time they're going to ask for contrasting material. So they're going to ask you to do 2 monologues, 1 comedic and maybe 1 classical, or maybe 1 that's dramatic, or 1 written in iambic pentameter, maybe. So a Shakespeare. And because all of them are going to have different requirements, it's good to get a few different types ready to go: contemporary, classical, comedic, dramatic, and kind of order them in which ones you feel the most confident in, and try to use those whenever the occasion is okay for that. And the same thing with songs. They're going to ask you probably for 2 songs. One could be a ballad versus an up-tempo. It could be that they want a contemporary versus classical. Maybe for some music programs, even singing in another language from an opera. So you really, again, want to have kind of a bench of potential songs and all that sheet music ready for your auditions. If you're auditioning for a musical theater program and you aren't already a dancer, you might consider taking a dance class before you audition. You don't have to be an amazing dancer to go to every program, but it can give you a leg up on the competition if in the dance audition they see that you can pick up basic choreography and that you can learn the steps and that you kind of have a basic general sense of rhythm and movement. Those are things that are going to be really important no matter what the theater program. Even for straight theater, movement and use of the body is going to be really important. And remember, they're not looking for you to be perfect and Broadway ready right then and there. You want to act honestly, show your character's journey throughout the piece. They are looking for the potential, right? How are you going to grow in their program? What are you going to learn from the program? And what can they offer you? So really try to remember to enjoy yourself, try your best, and they really, again, want to root for you. They want you to be the right person for their program. So I hope that you've all been sending questions into the chat there, and I'm looking forward to answering those. If you have any other questions that you don't pertain necessarily right now, or you think of them later, here's a couple ways that you can get in touch with me. You can send email to cftcartisticdirector@gmail.com or join our mailing list at fairfaxcitytheater.org. We email everyone with all of our audition and backstage opportunities whenever we're doing a show. So that'll be the best place to find out information about what's going on. And then if you're interested in monologue or song coaching, you can email me as well at snellingsac@gmail.com. And I'm going to take just a quick second to get ready for Monsters Anonymous.
All right. Should I ask our cast members to turn on their cameras?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So at this time, I would like to call all the following people to turn on their audio and video. We will be asking you to unmute. So we will be giving you and have their script ready for the one act. Okay, so the cast is as follows: Om Joshi as the vampire, Jamie Ma as the werewolf, Amrutha Rajiv as the ghost, Sonia Aurora as witch, Duani Jane as zombie, and myself as the therapist. So, hi guys.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm so excited to see you all and that you signed up to do our staged reading today. So there's a couple things we're going to do before we get into it. So everybody watching along, you can also join us. You just have to, maybe we won't see you on camera, but just I think you'll enjoy playing along. So we're going to do a couple of warm-ups to get us ready and kind of loosen up a little bit and get some energy going for our stage reading, okay? So first, we're just gonna start warming up our bodies, right? Let's do a little bit of neck roll, head roll, one way, and then the other way. I want everyone to take their shoulders and bring them up to their ears, and then take them down. Let's do that 2 more times, ready? Bring them all the way up to your ears, and let them loose. And one more time, bring them all the way up to your ears and let go. Okay, good. Shake it out a little bit. All right. So let's do a little bit of voice exercise, okay? So we're talking about getting all the facial muscles ready to go so that you can pronounce your words. And so we're gonna say, woo, wee, war, wow. All right, so we'll do that again. Woo, wee, war, wow. I want my friends to turn their microphones on so I can hear this. Ready? Woo, wee, war, wow. Does everybody know the Addams Family theme song?
No.
Raise your hand if you know it at all. No one? Okay. Well, I figured since we were doing monsters, that would be kind of fun. Look it up. It's an old TV show and movie. It's really fun. But there's a lot of fun characters, and we're going to use our tongues to be a new character in the Addams Family. So try to follow along with me. Your tongues feel stretched out and warmed up? Awesome. So one more thing we're going to do to just get our facial muscles ready. We're going to play Lion and Lemon. Has anybody heard of that game before? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our faces really big like a lion. And then we're going to make our faces really small like we just ate a lemon. All right, let me see your lion faces. As big as you can. And use your eyes too, and your eyebrows and your forehead. And lemon. And lion. And lemon. Awesome. All right, shake it out one more time. And let's get ready to look at our scripts. I want everybody to give me a thumbs up when you've got your script in front of you on the first page. Page 5. All right. So we're going to read Monsters Anonymous by Deborah Cole. It is a fun look at what monsters might have to deal with, even though they're monsters, right? They have their quirks and their fears and their worries too. So we're at the Monsters Anonymous meeting. And does everybody know what a stage direction is? Raise your hand if you've ever heard of stage direction. Awesome. So stage direction is something that's written in a script that the author wants you to know, but is not necessarily going to be said out loud by any of the characters. So this can be helpful for the director in figuring out what the set should look like, what the costumes should look like, any sound effects or lighting effects that need to happen if we were to produce this as a full play, right? So sometimes those cues are things that the audience would get from the set and the costumes and the sound and the lights that we don't have that same opportunity in a virtual reading. So a lot of times we'll read the stage directions. So I'm going to do that today, just so that our audience can be, have that mental image in mind of where we are and what things look like. But there's certain times that I'm not going to read the stage directions. And that's when I'm going to rely on my cast here to do those. So anytime that it says an action, something that the character is doing, right? Like everyone claps or takes a big breath or howls, I want you to do that as the actors. Does that make sense? But I'm going to read anything that requires, lighting, set, movement, stuff like that. Okay? Does anybody have any questions before we start? Okay, great. Let's go around and just right before we begin, have everybody say your name and what grade you are in school and the role that you're playing.
Right, I will start. Hello, I'm Sheershika. I am a senior at Chantilly High School, and I will be playing as the therapist.
Great.
Hi, I'm I'm in 5th grade, and I'll be playing the vampire.
Awesome. And Ruda?
Hi, I'm Amruta. I'm a sophomore in high school, and I'll be playing.
Oops, I think we lost your microphone there.
Oh, can you hear me now?
You're breaking up just a little bit, but.
I'm just going to reintroduce myself then. Hi, I'm Amruta. I'm a sophomore in high school, and yeah.
Okay, and you're playing which role?
And I'm playing the ghost.
The ghost, okay. And Jamie?
Hi, my name is Jamie Ma. I actually graduated from The Ohio State University last year, but I came across you guys on Instagram, so I miss acting. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, and I'm playing werewolf. Sorry.
Okay. And Dwani?
I'm Dwani. I'm in 8th grade at Gainesville Middle School, and I'm playing the zombie.
Okay. And Sonia?
I'm Sonia. I'm in 8th grade at Gainesville Middle School, and I'm playing the witch.
Okay.
Now I can.
Okay, perfect. So without further ado, then let's get started and read Monsters Anonymous. Lights come up on 6 chairs in a semicircle facing out to the audience. The stage is set up like a dark and dingy basement with cheesy motivational posters and a water cooler. All characters are milling around a table, stage right, enjoying donuts, coffee, and water. Note, vampire and zombie are not eating or drinking from the provided drinks and snacks.
Hello, everyone. It is time to start.
Everyone heads towards a chair and sits.
Welcome to the first meeting of Monsters Anonymous. I want to also thank City Hall for letting us use the basement for our meetings. This is my first support group as a therapist for monsters, so I'm a little nervous. Please bear with me. Okay, I'm proud of each and every one of you for taking the first step to come and talk about your issues as monsters. You are very brave.
I didn't want to be here tonight. My boss made me come.
Well, whatever the reason, I'm glad you're all here. Who would like to go first? You, ma'am, why are you here today?
My name is...
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We don't give our names here. The support group is anonymous. That way, monsters like you are able to go back out in the community and scare people without fear. We want humans to have fear, not monsters.
Well, what do you mean, us? You're not a monster with problems.
No, I am not. But I have studied and passed all my monster exams, so I'm here to help.
Whatever.
Now, watch that attitude. Don't you think you're being a little witchy?
Good one. Okay, I'll try this again. Hello, I'm clearly a witch, so being witchy is my game.
Hi, witch.
Hi, witch.
So that's how this works. Great. I said I'm a witch, but my problem is that I'm not a very good one. It's one of the very biggest things a witch is supposed to be good at.
Eating spells? Eating children?
Flying on a broomstick?
No, those are all easy. Potions. I can't make potions.
You mean you can't cook?
Easy, Casper. Find your words. Of course I can cook. I just can't blend. I read the potion recipes, grab a little of Ainu, stir in the hair of golden unicorn, add a dash of bat whiskers, and nothing. The potion I made last night was supposed to curse my neighbor. Just gave him gas. Want to try some?
Absolutely not.
Nope. I'm gassy enough.
Tiny toot assert.
Sorry, broccoli for lunch.
Not like it would have worked anyway. I'm a failure.
Can I ask you, are you following some sort of formal recipe? Surely witches have some sort of cookbook.
Of course, I use a cookbook. Any witch worth her sea salt owns Nettie Rocker's Cookbook of Dark Arts Potions. It's the classic cookbook for all witches.
How's your math?
Excuse me?
How are your math skills?
Not that it's any of your business, Mr. Creepy, but I really wasn't a math person in witch school. I loved fine arts. I find that explaining my talents to others is best expressed in song.
Starts to grab ukulele out of carpet bag.
Whoa. No proof is needed. I think I know your problem. Cooking is all about math. One too many troll teeth and your result ends will not work.
How do you know about trolls' teeth?
I had a cousin, Will, who worked with a tribe of billy goats. Long story ended with my cousin losing his mind trying to create riddles to stump the little guys.
Would you be open to strengthening your math skills? Who knows? You may be really great at potions after you work at it for a while.
Well, it's worth a try. I can't get worse. Oh, you should have seen what happened to my barber's cat after I tried to cure it of worms. I'll tell you one thing. Cats should never have 30 lives. They become pretty reckless, I can tell you. Have you ever seen a cat play hopscotch through traffic? Messy. That's all you need to know.
Excellent. I can't believe it. I helped resolve a real monster problem.
You solved your problem? I don't think so.
Well, the problem was solved. That's all that matters. So what brings you here? Introduce yourself.
Hello. In case you haven't guessed, I'm a vampire.
Hi,
Hi, vampire.
I'm sort of embarrassed to tell you all.
You are among monster friends here. Let us support you.
Well, I have a pretty severe food allergy. That's nothing. I'm allergic to peanuts. My skin just turns purple.
You are already purple and green and yellow.
And your eyes don't look right, Mr. Undead.
You should see them after a Snickers bar. I'm gross. Well, grosser.
Let's try to focus on vampire's problem, shall we? What are you allergic to?
Blood.
Blood?
I
I may be new to monster therapy, but don't vampires have to drink blood to survive or keep being immortal?
am so thirsty. I watch my vampire friends delight in red juice of humans, and all I can do is watch it.
How do you keep living? I mean, existing?
Protein bars. I eat protein bars for every meal. I tried them all. Chocolate, raisin, kale. I even tried peanut butter.
Peanut butter? I bet it was awful.
They're all awful. All I want is to drink blood like all my other friends. I don't think it's too much to ask.
We all have limitations, vampire. This zombie can't eat peanuts, which is struggling with math. And I can't be a monster no matter how hard I try to wish to be one. You may have to be creative. That's what I did. I couldn't be a monster like all of you, so I became a monster therapist.
Creative? How can I be creative?
Wait a minute. Be creative. That's it. I was just trying to be creative in the kitchen yesterday. I wanted to create a love potion for snails. Another long story, don't ask. But instead, I accidentally created this.
It looks just like blood.
Instead of helping snails with love, it just made them burp.
It looks just like blood.
Well, blood is it not, but it is delicious. Tastes like cherry and almonds. You're welcome to have it.
Excuse me. Oh, this makes my day. Can you make some more for me? I could take this to the next vampire picnic and no one would know. I would fit right in with the other vampires and I would no longer be thirsty.
Well, I better make some tonight before I become better at math. Who knows? By next week, my potions might actually work.
Well, another monster helped me. Well, that's my story anyway. It helps me sleep at night. Who is next?
I'd like to go. Hello, everyone. As our therapist mentioned, I am a zombie.
Hi,
Hi,
zombie.
Are you here because of your skin?
Nope.
Are you here because you walk about slowly?
Nope. I have bigger problems.
No problem is too big for our Monsters Anonymous. Please share.
Well, it's simple. I'm a vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
Very vegetarian.
Wait. That's not bad. My sister is a vegetarian.
Oh yeah? Not bad? Listen, witches do plenty of things. They fly on their brooms. They destroy the lives of children. They cast spells. And soon, this witch will be mixing the perfect potions. Me, zombies, we just do one thing. We eat brains.
Dude, that's gross, dude.
I know. That is exactly my point. There is a whole world out there of delicious foods.
Poison apples.
Dog biscuits. What? I like dog biscuits.
I do love a good cream donut.
I don't want to eat human brains. I like humans. Sure, they're fun to chase, but eating their brains, I just can't.
So just don't eat brains. That should be easy.
Easy? Do you know what happens when I walk in a diner and try to order a grilled vegetable platter with hummus? They throw me out. No one wants a zombie around. No one will serve me.
Then start your own the diner.
What?
We need more diners in this city. I would love to eat there.
The kid has a point. Make your own recipe for life. 1 part passion, 2 parts hard work, and 3 parts dedication. Look at me, I'm making my own recipes now.
You're right. Create a diner where everyone will want to hang out with a talented zombie who serves delicious food.
You're right. I'm going to do it. People will be less afraid of me when they taste my spicy tofu nuggets.
What a brilliant idea. I'm so glad I thought of it. Who's next?
Well, I guess it's my turn. My boss sent me here to work on my self-esteem. I don't feel so great about myself.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, and you haven't officially introduced yourself yet, but are you sure you're supposed to be in the Monsters Anonymous group? You look, well, human.
That's the whole problem. Maybe by introducing myself, you'll see why I am so self-conscious. Hi, everyone. I am a werewolf. Now do you see my problem? I am a bald werewolf.
Hi, that is a real problem. How did this happen?
Baldness? Well, they say it runs through the mother's genes, but I am the first in my family to be a hairless werewolf.
That has to be tough.
It is.
So why did your boss send you here? Can't you just work as a bald werewolf? What do you do exactly?
Hairdresser. I style luxurious werewolf hair, and I'm really good at it too. Werewomen come to me to be beautiful, and here I am. Ugly. Who can trust a bald hairdresser?
Oh, can you do braids? I've been wanting to try braids.
Brains? You want to try brains?
No, zombie, which wants to try braids? Go on, werewolf, we are listening.
I just want to look in the mirror and look like every other werewolf. I want thick brown hair that curls when I howl at the moon. Is that too much to ask for?
But you are beautiful just the way you are, werewolf. I wish my complexion was as smooth as yours. Just look at your skin, and then look at mine. You are one lucky monster.
You think so?
Plus, there's more to life than just your looks. Why? I bet you are fast and strong, aren't you?
Well, I'm a werewolf. We are all fast, but yeah, I am pretty strong.
There you go.
I guess I am pretty cool. I bet if I flexed, the werewoman would look past my baldness. I just may have to start seeing someone I like in the mirror. Ha ha ha! At least I don't mutter or something. Sorry, little guy, I didn't mean it.
I guess my problem is clear. I stutter. I'm a ghost.
Hi.
Hi, ghost.
Oh, ghosts. Many people have speech issues. There is no reason to be embarrassed, despite what werewolf said.
Yeah, speech issues aren't so bad. Have you been listening to me? I am monotone. No highs, no lows. Always to the same. Being part of the Walking Dead is tough on the vocal cords.
How does stuttering affect you being a good ghost, little guy?
I can't say boo.
But you just did.
No, I can't say it quickly enough to scare people.
Well, that's just a matter of concept.
We can help you practice. The more you practice, the easier it will be.
You think so?
I know so. Do you think I rocked the very first hairstyle I tried? No, I had to practice over and over again. Well, on other people, obviously not on myself, for reasons that should be clear. I am bald, you know.
We know, werewolf.
I've got it. I think I have an idea. I think I can actually help all of you today. Everyone, stand up.
Bit unsure, slowly each monster stands up.
Good. I want you to all close your eyes. I want to help everyone visualize. Thank you. I want each of you to picture your new life with the changes we talked about today, which you aren't good at math yet, but by practicing, your potions are going to do exactly what you want them to do.
Correct.
Vampire, you aren't going to worry about what you can't control. You're going to live life and adapt as you need to.
You're right.
Zombie, you are going to make your own way. The vegetarian diner is going to be a big success.
I'll give you all coupons for Turnip Tuesday.
Werewolf, you are going to appreciate your strengths and be proud of who you are.
I am beautiful.
And Ghost, we are going to help you practice being a scary ghost who can say boo with confidence.
I'm willing to try.
Well, I guess you aren't going to need our Little Monsters Anonymous support group anymore. I've cued you all.
Suddenly, the lights go out in the basement.
What happened? Where are the lights?
I can't find my new drink. What if the lights never come back up and I die of thirst again? Oh no, I'm already feeling thirsty. I'm feeling thirsty again.
No one can see me in the dark. I am too beautiful not to be seen. Someone find the lights. Hurry. I need to flex.
I'm so hungry. What is this?
That's my brain, you weirdo. Get off of me.
Ew, gross.
I think I'm the first vampire to actually be afraid of the dark. Someone hold me.
Woohoo! You all need me. You really still need me. We can meet again next week. I'll bring bagels. I'm so happy.
The end. Thank you so much, guys. Round of applause for our cast today. That was fantastic. Does anybody want to tell me kind of what your favorite part of that experience was, or something that went differently than you thought that it would?
Anyone?
You look like you have something.
No.
Okay.
Well, I could say something that I liked. I really liked the part where the therapist at the end, she just doesn't want everyone to leave. Like she's like has like separation anxiety or something, and she's kind of just like, you know what, y'all need me. Like I didn't just take these monster courses for nothing. You still need me, so I'm gonna stay here.
Cool.
That was really funny.
Dewani, do you have something? No? How many of you, was this your first time being in a play? Awesome. That's so cool. Do you think you'll want to do it again? Yeah. It's your first time too, Very cool.
No, it's not my first time. I've done it before.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I hope that I'll see all of you guys in shows again. Thank you so much. You did such a great job.
All right, now I ask that everyone turns their camera off. Thank you for joining us. All right, so that was a wonderful presentation. Now I have a few questions sent over by the viewers.
Okay.
So the first question is, how can one deal with an indication from the director that we don't necessarily agree with?
Okay, so like a director gives you a note and you don't agree. Well, so the director is in charge of keeping the vision safeguarded for the play, right? The director has that one vision that everybody else is working toward, the set designer, the costume designer, all the actors, and the director's job is really to make sure that all those pieces are working together. So if you don't agree with direction that you're given by the director, the best thing to do in the moment is just say, okay, take down a note and write down any questions that you might have, and then talk to them later, not in front of the whole group, because they might have a reason for wanting you to do something a specific way. And if you have a legitimate question, sometimes it can be nice to, be able to answer that with a little bit more time than, while they're giving notes. And sometimes, you may not like the answer that you get, but just remember that it's all part of making sure the whole show is successful.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that, if you don't mind. I think that like if you get a note from a director and you don't like it, like remember that it's the character that the director wants like that way, that certain way. It's not you, like it doesn't pertain to you. So you can just disagree with the character's views, but it's not you. So okay, so another question was, I want to write my own play. Where do I start?
Oh, that's a great question. I think that you could start writing a play from a few different places. If you have a story that you really like, you could think about how to adapt that into a play, taking all the action that happens and having it happen through dialogue rather than kind of narration. You could start with an original idea, and a lot of times it's helpful to write about something that you've experienced or that you have, you know, have thought about a lot, so that it's authentic and it comes from a place where um, have a little bit of knowledge about the topic or what to do. And a lot of times, like, you can look at friends and family and teachers and the people around you and kind of look at how they behave and how they act, and kind of think about what kind of character they might be if they were in a play. Sometimes that can help. A fun exercise, just for like random playwriting, is to go out in public, wear your mask, and social distance, but you can observe someone that you've never met before, and just make up a story about their life. It could be based on the color shirt that they're wearing or their hairstyle, but just kind of pretend like you know that person and you know what's happening in their day, and kind of start to brainstorm what they might be doing. And then that could be a good starting place as well.
Okay. So the next question is, since there are so many movies based on play scripts, how is reading a play different from watching it or performing it?
Well, I mean, plays are meant to be seen. There's a lot of parts of a play that we don't get to see in a staged reading. Like I mentioned with the stage directions, we don't get to see the set, the costumes, the lighting, the sound. A lot of those pieces are really part of the storytelling. And in some shows that can be, completely needed. And it also helps with the expression of the actors to be able to use body language, to use movement and interaction with one another in a way that you don't get in a staged reading to tell the story.
Hey, what jobs can I get with a musical theater major?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different career paths to go on in theater. It depends kind of on what you end up being interested in. And it also doesn't have to stay the same thing all the time. I think that's one of the things about a theater career that you have to know and be okay with ahead of time, is that your job is auditioning and your job is finding your next job. And so you have to kind of be ready to take a lot of classes and, take voice lessons and dance classes, and constantly, pick out audition material. But then once you have that and you audition, you can audition for a lot of different things: cruise ships, amusement parks. There's summer stock theater, regional theater, all those things. When things open back up, hopefully there'll be more opportunities there. You can also, with a theater degree, go into other arts related fields. So nonprofit work with an arts company, a theater company, teaching theater or dance or voice is another option. You could go into television or film production or acting. Really, the sky's the limit. I think that the things that a theater degree also hold that aren't necessarily related to theater is that there's a lot of communications skills that you would have after you have your theater degree.
Right. More than a few famous plays have characters speaking in different accents. Do you have any tips on how to perform in different accents?
Yeah, so I think doing accents is a lot about listening. And so YouTube is really great for just listening to people from different areas speaking, and you can kind of try to start practicing along with them and picking up their accents. And if you have a specific role in a play, I would suggest listening to people and try to find those specific words or phrases that you're scripted to use in other videos or real life examples, and try to record those or record yourself doing it, and listening back to your recording. A lot of the things that really mark different accents are how they use vowels, and R's are a big part of a lot of different, at least English speaking accents. So, listening in for how those specific sounds are, you can then even start to place certain words together from that.
Okay. So this is a question I just got. Do you need to learn music and dance to actually become part of the theater? I mean, to become an actor. I am in New Jersey, and here the schools don't have any theater program. My son has attended summer camps for the theater, but now we don't know what to do next. So what do you suggest?
Yeah, so to the first question, I don't think you have to do music and dance to do theater. There's a lot of plays and opportunities to do what we call straight theater. But if it's something that they're interested in, it's definitely fun. And I think that the best way to learn those things is just trying to find any sort of community theater programs that you can be involved in. They're typically low cost. They often have a big cast, and they're not looking for somebody who's, super trained. So I would try to look into those for other opportunities, and a lot of them are going to be those bigger musicals. But again, like, it doesn't mean you have to be perfect at dance or singing to be involved in those. For example, with CFTC last year, we did Beauty and the Beast, and we had a cast of over 50 people, starting from age 6 all the way to someone in their 60s. So, obviously we had people who was their first time ever on stage. We had people who'd been, in 10 different shows. And I think that's a really fun thing about community theater, is that it's really about the fun and the love of doing it, and not necessarily like it can be competitive depending on where you are, but it is not just about that.
Mm-hmm. So I have like 2 more questions. That's it. So the first question is, does the gender or physical appearance of the character have to match the performers when auditioning?
That's a really good question, and something that I think is changing, or changes based on the play. There's, for each playwright, they own the rights to their play. They have the copyright over it. And some playwrights do specify that if you're going to do a production of their play, you have to use the same gender and age. And typically that means that the character has to present that way. So you could have somebody playing a different gender as long as they play it as the character was written. In a lot of cases, some authors will not allow that. And then in most community theaters, I would say we tried to be non-traditional in casting. Although at CFTC, we will not cast, kids and teens as adult roles, and we don't cast adults as kid roles, to try to get everybody involved and feel like they're playing an age-appropriate role. But when you're in school, for example, you might play a role that is not the same age as you, because everybody in the cast is a teen or in that same play. Does that make sense? Does that answer the question?
I think you did.
Okay.
One last question. I keep getting casted as the ensemble rather than a lead, supporting or lead character. Am I a bad actor or actress?
No, not at all. So the ensemble, actually, I think, can be some of the best acting that there is, because you get to create your own character, right? And you get to create your own life of what's going on. So you can have reactions, you can make up little side stories with the other ensemble members, and you get to be involved in a lot of the musical numbers, which a lot of times the lead people aren't even in, or supporting people. And as I said before, casting a lot of times is a puzzle where you're trying to put together the people that fit that particular role at that particular time. Sometimes it's based on who else is in the cast, who else can we who's in this part makes the decision for who's in this other part happen. And it's not always based on who's the best. And I will say in the kind of professional theater world, ensemble is great because you often stay in the show longer than, if we're talking like a long-term Broadway type show, you get to do a lot of dancing and a lot of singing. You stay in the shows, you can wear a lot of fun costumes. There's a lot of great things about ensemble. I would say if you're somebody who's interested in ensemble for musical theater, definitely make sure you're up to snuff on dancing.
All right. So
And keep auditioning. Even if you get ensemble now, it doesn't mean that you're never going to get a lead. I promise, like every time you audition, they're trying to make it work for you. We're always rooting for you.
Yep. And I think, like, personally, my example, I've been in the ensemble for like so many years before I got the chance to play a supporting role. And right now I'm playing one of the lead roles in a show, like, I think it really depends on the timeline and just you as an actor, definitely, or an actress, but also I think that the role has to fit you and your acting style. And I think that's what the directors are going to look for.
Mm-hmm.
So that marks the end of our webinar. Thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Herman Snellings, and we thoroughly enjoyed your presentation. Thank you for joining us, everyone else. We will see you in our next webinar. You may leave webinar session.
Thanks for having me. Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye, guys.